Today, I want to talk to you about spell checkers and really what are the differences in the different types of spell check tools that are available to students at Lawrence School, and really what I would recommend that's how students use them. So let's look at spell checks. So this is an article that has a lot of misspellings in it. You could see my spelling and grammar options are set so that it's showing grammar and spell check possibilities with the red and blue squiggles. That is through Google itself. You could run a spell check right through Google, and it will bring up a little wizard on how to change it. So they're saying instead of the word terribly, you should use horribly. You could do that. You could accept it, click on it, and or ignore it. Change this word to research. And this one is saying doesn't. And you keep going on from there. Notice it's skipping over some of the words that are still misspelled. So even though regular Google spell check and grammar check is pretty good, it's not as good as some other services that are out there. So I don't usually recommend Google spelling and grammar check unless you are an otherwise really good speller on your own. Another thing, a tool that is available to all Lawrence School students is part of the Read and Write toolbar, and it's called Check It. Check It is the first tool on the toolbar, and I'm actually going to turn off my red squiggles and blue squiggles because I find them a little distracting especially when I'm writing. So what I'm going to do, it got rid of all those red squiggles for me, and I'm going to turn on the Check It tool. The Check It tool will underline purple anything that is a potential grammar or spelling error. And then you could click on any of these. Like this one it says spelling mistake, but actually I'm going to ignore it. It's just a punctuation difference. This one right here should be employees. And this one found according. And it found a few words that regular Google spell check didn't find. So this one says it's a mistake, but it doesn't know the correct answer. I'm going to leave it purple for now. And I could keep going until I find all the choices I need. Now, some of these words may still not find choices on the list. I'm going to explain why in a second, but you could still ignore or add to dictionary. Like for instance, the word brain connection, I could add to dictionary, or the word spell check, I could add to dictionary if I usually spell it as one word. I could do the same thing with names as well, or product names. But I would just keep working those purple underlines until I could get them all done. The Check It tool is actually pretty good. It has a phonetic spell check as part of it. So it keeps in mind how dyslexic people typically will misspell words and help them give choices based on that. That's different from the regular Google spell checker. Once you're done, you just click off of it and it's done. However, as you can see, everything is still not correctly spelled. So what I'm going to do at this point is I could turn on my Grammarly beta for Google Docs. However, I'm going to be honest, it doesn't do a very good job. It's getting there. It's better if you click on it and say turn on. I usually don't have mine turned on because I find it annoying when I'm writing to have it constantly tell me about errors. So if I click on words here, though, it will find words that I couldn't capture before and do that. However, it's not capturing every word on the list. And I think some people are intimidated by that number down in the corner. What I'd rather do is I'm going to just copy that whole paragraph right there. I'd rather just go to my Grammarly website. And on the Grammarly website, if you're already signed in, you would just hit new and hit OK and paste. And what this will do is it will run through the entire Grammarly tool, not just the little Word Google Doc version. This one is much better because for several reasons. One, it's going to give you a reason why it's recommending the change. I like that. So I'm getting more information about what I just misspelled. And then you could just, it takes you to one after another until, and if it doesn't know that word, you can say thing, and it found the word that, and it wasn't sure about this word. Let me go back to it. So I had to go back to it twice because it didn't recognize it the first 2 times. And again, this one last, fine. Sometimes you just have to keep going back to the word because it's saying it's unknown now, but if I click on it again or click on a different word and come back, sometimes it will find it. So this is giving 2 choices. You have to know the difference between place and palette. And you're going to keep on going. Notice the score over here is changing as well as all your other alerts over here. And it's still, what I like about this is it keeps track of how you corrected your corrections. Once you get them all corrected, so it didn't recognize that word. Let's go to this one. It didn't recognize a lot of these. That's okay. I'm going to explain why in a second. And I'm going to correct all the ones I can. So once it corrected the word spell, then checker came up. So sometimes you just gotta run through it slowly and then maybe come back to some of these words. Let's see if it got it this time. Okay. Okay. So even though there's still some words that look incorrect, I'm going to copy all the corrected ones, this whole correction thing back to my document and paste, replacing what I had before. Okay, I'm going to turn off Grammarly here because I want to go back and try check it again. And again, I'm just going back and forth with a few different tools to try to get everything I need corrected. So I'm going to see what it finds this time. So it's saying this one, shitty letter, problem, this, and some of these. So there was not one tool that was perfect. You have to like really be persistent. Okay, and there was still a couple words over here, like how'd. Yeah, I'm gonna say ignore that one because that's I'm gonna ignore that too. But it took a while. It took 3 different tools to actually correct that really hard misspelled words. And if you read this paragraph, it tells you why, because your brain automatically will try to correct misspelled words as it's reading. And as long as it's the middle letters of a word that are in the wrong place and the first and last letters are in the correct place, then most spell checkers are going to find it. But if the first letter or the last letter is in the incorrect place, then it has a harder time guessing what you meant by that spelled word. So some of these words that are having a hard time being found by spell checkers, it's because it's breaking the normal rules of misspelled words. And so for those cases, we might have to listen to the word in the sentence and figure out and manually change it ourselves. Like this one should be whole, and this one should be itself. And now it's all correct. Like I said, I recommend using at least 2 good spell checkers on a regular basis. My 2 recommendations are the Read and Write Check It tool because it works really easy right in a Google Doc. I don't recommend the Grammarly Google Docs app. The reason why is because it's still a beta, which means it's not done yet. They still need to do work on it. And it's not going to capture as many errors as you would find on the website. I do recommend going to the Grammarly website to find your errors. If you have any questions about using spelling and grammar checks, please let Ms. Garza know.